Determining the most important wars in history is subjective and can vary depending on cultural, geographical, and historical perspectives. However, here are several wars that are often considered pivotal due to their significant impacts on societies, politics, and global dynamics. The Peloponnesian War, 431 to 404 BCE. Fought between the Greek city-states led by Athens and Sparta, this war marked the end of the Athenian Golden Age and the decline of classical Greece. It showcased the devastating consequences of prolonged conflict between powerful states and led to a shift in power dynamics in the ancient Mediterranean. The Punic Wars, 264 to 146 BCE. A series of 3 wars fought between Rome and Carthage for dominance in the western Mediterranean. The outcome of these wars resulted in the rise of the Roman Republic as the dominant power in the region and laid the foundations for the Roman Empire. The fall of the Western Roman Empire, 476 CE. While not a single war, the collapse of the Western Roman Empire was the result of centuries of military, economic, and political challenges. It marked the end of classical antiquity in Europe and ushered in the Middle Ages, profoundly shaping the course of Western civilization. The Crusades, 1096 to 1291. A series of religious wars sanctioned by the Latin Church in the medieval period, aimed at recapturing the Holy Land from Muslim control. The Crusades had significant impacts on European society, politics, and culture, fostering both cooperation and conflict between Christian and Islamic civilizations. The Hundred Years' War, 1337 to 1453. A protracted conflict between the Kingdom of England and the Kingdom of France over territorial disputes and the claim to the French throne. This war marked the transition from feudalism to centralized nation-states in Europe and had far-reaching consequences for both countries involved. The 30 Years' War, 1618 to 1648. Fought primarily in Central Europe, this war began as a religious conflict between Protestants and Catholics but evolved into a broader struggle for political and territorial dominance. It devastated the region and led to significant changes in the balance of power within Europe. The American Revolutionary War, 1775 to 1783. The conflict between Great Britain and its 13 North American colonies seeking independence. The war resulted in the birth of the United States of America and profoundly influenced ideas of liberty, democracy, and national identity around the world. World War I, 1914 to 1918. A global conflict involving many of the world's great powers, fought primarily in Europe. It resulted in significant geopolitical changes, the collapse of empires, and the emergence of new ideologies and technologies that shaped the 20th century. World War II, 1939 to 1945. The deadliest conflict in human history, involving most of the world's nations, fought between the Allies and the Axis powers. It resulted in the devastation of entire cities, genocide, and the emergence of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers. The Cold War, 1947 to 1991. While not a hot war in the traditional sense, the Cold War was a prolonged ideological and geopolitical struggle between the United States and its allies and the Soviet Union and its allies. It shaped global politics, military strategy, and international relations for much of the 20th century and had far-reaching consequences for world stability and security. These wars represent just a fraction of significant conflicts throughout history, each leaving indelible marks on the societies, cultures, and political landscapes of their respective eras.